fairway is open once again. Tee off in the latest installment of the Mario Golf series, coming to Nintendo Switch.
Will Nintendo have a good year in 2021? This is a question I've been asking myself, despite playing a ton of Switch recently, mostly Bravely Default 2. The thing that really started me off was the pretty awful Nintendo Direct. I went into this Direct that was announcing supposedly everything for the year, expecting to start planning savings for these pricey Switch games, and I left thinking, maybe I'll get the Ninja Gaiden and Skyward Sword remasters. This is not how I wish to feel after a huge announcement. My pure feeling was just nothing really. I was kind of angry, which is ridiculous I know, that Nintendo give no f***s, they've just relaxed fully into the Switch being a machine for their main IPs, remasters and JRPGs. This is fine because I love JRPGs on it, but I kind of want to feel like I should spend £60 on a game, you know what I mean? I was really surprised at the overall lack of anything actually new except a Mario Golf game and Splatoon 3. I know there are others, but those are the only ones that really stuck in my mind. Both of which I definitely won't be buying anyway. Where was the big new surprise? Well, strangely that came separately. I thought it was a bit mad that Pokemon did their own announcement afterwards. Why wasn't it part of the Direct? The little Pokemon release, Pokemon Legends Arceus and the remasters of Diamonds and Pearl have me more excited than anything on the Direct, and were the only brand new shiny things I know I'm going to spend my cold hard cash on. Pokemon has become its own entity that just happens to be on Switch, don't you think? And this is what I'm saying about Nintendo relying too heavily on their very old IPs, except Splatoon 3, and some ports of games that have been on PlayStation or Xbox for ages. Why aren't Nintendo really doing anything new and exciting in terms of gaming? Is it because they're relying too heavily on toy sales for things like Lego Mario or the home circuit? And does everyone remember Nintendo Labo? Fair enough if this is where they're making their money, and I totally get that a large portion of their audience is a lot younger than I am, but it's really starting to feel there's not a great deal out there if you're a bit more of a mature gamer, especially if you're like Mike and aren't a big fan of JRPGs. Also, is anyone really asking for a Switch Pro? I don't know why, but every time I see news for it, I just think, why? I think the Switch is pretty much perfect apart from being a little hard to see in the sun. I definitely don't think it needs to be bigger or clearer. Surely it being bigger would make it more difficult to carry around and make it less of a handheld and less portable, and kind of remove a large portion of why it's so appealing. I still love my Switch, but some of these odd decisions, in my humble opinion, will mean that the Switch will become a third favourite console again and not fighting for top spot in the console wars. I'm only really choosing my Switch if I'm planning on going to bed early, and I rarely sit and play games from start to end. In fact, Bravely Default 2 hadn't had a look in for a few days, maybe a week. It is great as a retro console, or a fun console, or JRPG machine, because it's good for the certain grinding games, when you can play it going into bed, or sitting and watching the telly. You can do stuff in the background while we're gaming, which is the appeal. But it's never become the AAA console, I don't think it ever will. No matter what games it ports to it, it will always just be a console that's about Zelda, Mario, Pokemon and JRPGs, and indie games of course. Like I said, maybe that's just what it wants to be. It means it won't be Xbox when we're releasing with Bethesda games for example, or PlayStation with their vast majority of incredible IPs. I really feel like Nintendo needs to do something differently this year, and I mean much more than just releasing a couple of new Pokemon games. I am excited, of course, to play the remasters of Diamond and Pearl, but this isn't enough to think, yeah, this is an amazing console. At the moment, I am just playing JRPGs on it, not much else. Sometimes I play Mario Kart, and it does seem like Nintendo rely heavily on the old games. A lot of people are still playing things like Breath of the Wild, or Mario Odyssey, or Luigi's Mansion, all of which are fun games, apart from Breath of the Wild, but there just needs to be something more. I don't understand why they're relying on a Zelda remaster, which no one's really asking for, and apparently the motion controls on it aren't great anyway. I really just feel that Nintendo needs to do a bit more this year to get our money, because they're starting to be left in the dark. I know Nintendo have a huge fan base, and I'm one of those people. This is just a fleeting opinion. Of course, this isn't the be all and end all, and they're still doing everything right. Do you think I'm completely wrong and off the mark here? Please let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you very soon.